Stop doing free stuff. Welcome to Weekly Tea Time. I am your host for Sensible Woo. My name is Mary. If we haven't met before, I'm so glad to see you here this week. And this week, we are going to continue forward with our topic of conversation this month, which is all about the good foundational tenets that we use around here inside of Sensible Woo, between myself and my lovely clients who work with me. And I think they're so good that I really, really wanted to pass them along to you. I feel like there's no reason you should not have these lessons. Sometimes I wish that somebody had told me these things sooner, starting with today's, which is all about the number one rule in economics. There's no such thing as a free lunch. I have shortened that into a very simple statement, which goes like this. Stop doing free stuff. That's the statement. Stop doing free stuff. Stop offering free stuff. That's a very generalized blanket way of getting us going into this discussion, and hopefully it caught your attention. It is definitely more nuanced than this, and it's not a 100% stop doing free stuff. But to get ourselves back on a path that is more productive, sometimes we do need to stop. We just need to detox from that stuff. In the incubator mastermind that I run, we had this great discussion a few weeks ago. And in that discussion, I said, well, you have to remember $0 is also the price. And a few of our members were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's true. $0 is a price. Energy is money. And in the world we all live in, even those of us who are very metaphysical and spiritually and intuitive and holistically inclined, for all of us, we still exist in a world that has a very major system of exchange. And that method of exchange is a thing called money, which is why we put prices on things that we do in business. Money for your business is oxygen. And when we are only consuming free things, or we are only offering free things, we end up in an energetic deficit one way or another. It's kind of like breathing with half the oxygen that you need. And after a while, that gets really exhausting and it's not healthy. And you're definitely not going to get to your goals by doing it. So the number one power move is stop doing free stuff. And when you can get that into your bones and feel good about it and be able to chuckle about it a little bit along with me, that's when you know you've gotten to a place where you can now start looking at free stuff again. So if you heard that and you were like, oh, ouch, burn, or like, what is she talking about? I'm going to go to another channel. Okay, bye. But for the rest of you, let's unpack, why do we say stop doing free stuff? So the very first thing is that free stuff is never, ever going to equal the equivalent of the full program. That also includes doing free stuff from a whole bunch of people out there. 20 people's free stuff things still does not equal a full program. One person who has a robust free library of stuff still not equal sign the full program. It's the same thing when you produce free things too. If you're giving away your full program for free, I bet that you probably feel taken advantage of, exhausted. You feel like the balance in the give and receive portion between you and your clients really feels off, and I don't blame you for that. I think there's a time and a place to give away free things, and we'll get into that in a minute too. But first, you've got to focus on the things that you're consuming. And when you do invest in free things, you have to remember that it is an investment. $0 is a price. So when we invest in things, we want to actually apply them. It's a muscle that you actually have to develop. And one of the things that I love doing with my incubator mastermind people is to do an audit of what are all the courses that we have access to, what are all the memberships we have access to, including the free things. Sometimes that list is extremely long, and sometimes you can't even find everything, which is okay. It happens. But what we want to do is start looking at, what do I already have access to that I haven't yet fully utilized? What do I hang on to in my energetic space that no longer applies? It was made so long ago and the marketplace has changed and that method literally isn't even valid anymore. But in my space, I hang on to it because at some point I invested energy in it at $0 as a price. And so what you want to do is actually look at that and then ask yourself, what is my actual goal? What am I trying to get to this year? Where am I not actually investing the real solid energy that I could be to get a better return? And that can bring up a lot of stuff for yourself. It's really normal to feel those things. Give yourself space and grace. Talk to your business buddies about it. If you find that you don't have any of that in your world, that's a really good sign that now is the time to start investigating and finding somebody who helps you feel safe, seen, heard, acknowledged, that you feel like you can be productive in that space. It may not be the most perfect program ever, but to have a really great program to start with after only consuming free things for a very long time can be a real game changer. So I would encourage you to do that for yourself. Now, the next thing is the stuff that we do for other people. So when we are only putting things at a $0 price, or we put too many things at a $0 price, we're actually doing ourselves and our audience a disservice. So when you have a lot of free stuff, but you're still in that offer market fit stage, what you can do is you can shortchange yourself or make that road even bumpier or slower. So most of the people who come into my incubator have gotten through offer market fit. They have offer validation. It may not be super duper strong. Most of them have a lot stronger validation than they often give themselves credit. And so I would encourage you to look at that for yourself too. Give yourself credit where credit is due. But if you still haven't had high touch conversations and you haven't done any high touch outreach and you haven't really sold anything, but you're putting together a lot of free things, that's not necessarily going to bring you more clients. So that can become a systems overwhelm problem, because usually you're spinning your wheels. And the thing that really makes those free lead magnets run beautifully and bring in the leads is when you have a strong workflow and a very strong process in all of your little bits and pieces, whether it's software or processes that involve you, are all nicely integrated, and you can actually work with the people who are genuinely attracted to you. And so what we want to do is make sure that you are not giving everything away for free, for a very, very important reason, because, and that brings us to our third part, there will always be freebie hunters in the world. It's a fact. It's a fact. I like to make a distinction when it comes to free things. And those of you who know me well know that I love Costco. I love me some Costco time so hard. And when Costco has its famous samples out, like Super Bowl weekend is like one of my favorite times to go to Costco because there are so many good samples. And they're free samples, but it's not really free. I am very well aware that I have paid for a Costco membership and my cart is full of stuff from Costco. That is not, those samples are not free. I am very well aware of that. And that is why the exchange between Costco and me and all those other people who are big Costco fans feels so good, is because the Costco fans like myself are investing in Costco, and Costco is investing back in us with everything from really great free samples at a generous rate, taking returns back whenever we need them, listening to their customer base, offering great deals on things, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very equal two-way street. And you want to start building your own free giveaways as a two-way street, kind of like that Costco example. And if it doesn't feel like that, it may not be the right time. It may not be the right audience of people to do that with. The problem with people who are honest to God, Freebie hunters to their core, I mean, they just will not spend money on things, is that if you get enough of them coming into your world because you have $0 as a price on your things, they can give you false positives, which makes it harder for you to recognize who you're actually serving and reach those people better. I think that all people on this planet are much more nuanced than just like this person is always a freebie hunter and that person is not. I think people are like that in different sectors of their lives. And your job is to get better at discerning, are these people really serious about doing whatever the service is that you provide? Let's say you're a massage therapist, are they really looking for body work? Are they really serious about investing in that kind of self-care? Or are they just really burned out and they generally don't help themselves in any other area of life? So they're just kind of looking for like a free 5-minute back rub or something. We want to make sure that you get the former, not the latter. So free stuff, $0. You're worth so much more than you often give yourself credit. And it can be hard in the business landscape to really hear yourself and believe in your price point from day one. I would encourage you, if you have been giving away too many free things and you recognize that after watching this video, I would encourage you to remove them from your offerings or put a price on them. And from now on, they're just not free. And then go from there. From there, you can actually start building out stronger systems because you will have a more accurate um, traffic pattern. You will be able to invest in better software that supports the real traffic that you're getting. You will be able to communicate what you do better. And the people who should not be in your materials will not be in your materials. I would encourage you to look at your own behaviors. And when you feel like you're grabbing for something, take a break and notice, am I expecting a free lunch? In which case, the cost of that free lunch is going to come out later. And is it worth it to you? Or are you just feeling like you're spinning your wheels? In which case, that's great data to work with. That's data we can actually pick apart and find out what's actually going on. And instead of just picking up the next free thing, you can make a better decision. So something that you can do too that I love doing is a little bit of market research where you check out what people are doing in their free offers. This is where free offers can be really positive. And they're not free just for freedom's sake. They're meant to give you a taste of the kind of transformation that you could be getting. They are meant to help you actually make a clear and concrete decision that feels really good to you about the offer that that person is selling. I can give you an example in my own life. I work with a somatic therapist who's really talented. She offered a 60-minute free workshop that was in honesty about 30 minutes of content, and the last half hour or so was really a presentation about the actual offer. The content was so good. I got to hear her. I got to see her. I got to feel through it. She led us through some very simple exercises that gave me a very clear picture of what kind of a result I would have by doing the bigger program with her. It made the yes super easy. And so in that case, having a free lead in is a very, very smart tool. I also have a free library inside of my own programs. And the free library is a place for me to repurpose content, which is another thing that you could do with your own free things. Repurpose popular content from talks I've given at conferences or really popular frameworks that we've used in the past, like ask better questions, get better answers. And that allows people to get a real sense of what it's like to understand the words that I use and the concept that I use. They get some real tangible benefit. They feel like they have another tool in their toolbox. That usually leads people into my list, which leads them into further offers, and it helps people feel seen and heard and acknowledged. So if you have things that will help you get there in that way, I encourage you to use them. But if you're feeling really frazzled, that's a really good symptom that helps you know, don't put the $0 price tag on it. Remember that $0 is a price. So I encourage you to charge what you're worth, and put your materials out there. You can do it. You can totally do it. I'm going to leave you with that for this week. Stop doing free stuff. Just stop it. And I will see you next week, and we will continue to talk about more core operating thought processes and mindsets that really help us as we work into systems thinking and frameworks. I'll see you next week. Bye.